Happy Monday to you, sports fan. Hello, I'm Adam Deal. This is the Proview Rundown. We're going to go over all the best highlights of the weekend. We've got a top 10 poll and a special guest for you in just a little bit. Like to introduce the crew in the zoo. My man, Alden Ball So Hard Iowani, and Josh Bear Trap Brown. That's his arm. It's a bear trap. Good to see you here. And so it's a Monday. We're going to refresh everything that happened throughout the weekend. A lot of good stuff. Metro Volleyball, we're going to get to that in just a moment. Really exciting matchup between La Cueva and Siebel. But first, we'll start on Friday night. Our game of the week here on Proview Network says Roswell was taking on Las Lunas. Roswell trying to play spoilers. That's the top 10, but this is Roswell and Las Lunas.
Valenzuela with a toss. It's complete. Diving into
Muted.
the end zone. Touchdown. They had a keeper in a while. Look at a throw, sets up a screen, and it's intercepted. It's picked off right at the 15-yard line, and it's the big guy. And 32 seconds to go in the half. Quick slant to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown.
Oh man, this beat is crazy.
This is the 18th right here, and here's a handoff. And it's Carrasco to the outside, and he's got the speed, and he's got the finish. Touchdown. Down and set. Here's a handoff, what a sweep, and there's some room across the 25 to the 20, still on his feet and dancing into the end zone. Touchdown. The 6, straight up the middle. Look out.
Oh man, this beat is crazy.
Down the sideline and untouched. The outside is picked off. It's one-handed. Intercepted at the 33. Some room on the outside. And here's a handoff straight through.
So Roswell get the job done. Not only do they beat Las Lunas, but they did it handily. And 3 touchdowns on the night for Justin Carrasco. He was fantastic. Roswell, they're for real now. I think they've just incorporated themselves into a state championship discussion potentially. I think Artesia is obviously always there. Berlin is there. And then I think Las Lunas, you can't count them out. Bad night. Bad night for Nick Garland. Bad night offensively all around. And Las Lunas just could not stop that running game. So we'll see these two teams again later in separate games, obviously. But Roswell's good. So we move on Friday night, and Las Cruces back in the metro area for the second straight week. Now, they got hammered their last 2 weeks, and so a lot of us thought, well, maybe this Cruces team really isn't that good. They needed to beat Rio Rancho on homecoming night to show differently. This is what happened.
Man coming in motion. Quick pass over the middle, wide open, caught, touchdown. Ailman goes in motion. They're going to keep it coming right up the middle. Got some daylight at the 40 midfield. One man to get by, has a blocker in front, cuts it back to the left, to the 20, back to the right. This is going to be 6 for Las Cruces, and that's Ivan Molina. Hard attempt. Snap good, place on the way. The kick is up and good. Quick pass out, man's wide open. At the 10, turns it up to the 5, dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Rio Rancho. Chalupik in the backfield, and they're going to give it to him left side. 5, dives for the end zone, touchdown. 4 games to 3. Shot, excuse me, here comes a Wildcat. There goes Molina. He's into the end zone, touchdown. Ivan Molina this time. And they're going to give it to the young man. He's inside the 10. There you see the power at the 5 for the end zone. What an effort. What an effort by Chase Chalupik. Their twins out to the right side. They're going to throw it again over the middle. Has a man wide open, caught. And that's going to be a touchdown for Jeremy Rotert. And the Rams are back in it. 2 plays. Play action, looking to throw, has a man open, caught at the 5. Breaks the tackle, touchdown, Las Cruces. Twins out to the right, they're gonna throw it. Over the middle, man open, caught, touchdown.
Boy, they had pressure coming on the quarterback. They sent 3 guys at him, blitzing. And did he do a nice job of reading that? 20 Clovis 0. There it is.
Quick pass ball's gonna be caught by Ailman. Ailman spinning away at the 10. Ailman to the 5. Dives for the end zone. Is going for it. Play action, looking in the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Rio Rancho. And that's going to do it. 44-33 is going to be the final.
Josh Brown was directing this game at Rio Rancho. We'll get his input a little bit later in the show. But what a win for Las Cruces, maybe proving to everybody, including myself, that it's not, the season's not over. It's not that bad. They just lost to 2 really good teams, but it was ugly for a while. Nice bounce back for the Bulldogs. We'll show you if they're in our top 10 poll a little bit later. More football for you, though. Saturday, Hope Christian trying to stay unbeaten. They're taking on West Las Vegas, the Dons. This was from Milne Stadium.
We should get pretty good field position to start here. Feel it at the 45. Still on his feet. Missed a couple tackles. Plenty of green up in front. Quesada with an opening house call for the Huskies. Balizan looking again to go deep. Trying to find a beta, and he makes a catch.
Oh.
High snap, rolling to his right. He's got plenty of time. Did he bring that in for the pick?
I think he caught it over there for the interception. Yep.
It's last week in the first half. Gonna keep this one himself. Still on his feet. Nice stiff arm there, and the ball's out, and it's going the other way.
Well, it was a great speed option. He was trying to break tackles down there, and he just coughed up the ball. And
A lot of time. That's up the middle, and it's complete to Ryan Cosper, and he's off for the Huskies touchdown.
that was a great play.
Some pressure coming to Balisan. He's going to heave it up. This one's up for grabs, and it's caught. At the top. One at the bottom. Again, he's got all day to throw. He's going up the middle. Quesada's open. He's going to step, and he's going to cut back to the middle, and he made Austin Abeta look silly on that touchdown. What a move from Vince Quesada. He's connected on a few big plays as well. He's going to try for another one to Gonzalez. It's up for grabs, and it's picked. Eli Martin with the interception. And big loss will bring up 3rd and 38. High snap there. All day the pass. He's got an open Cosper down the sideline at the numbers. He's off to the races, and it's another touchdown for the Huskies. And they listened to some of Ron McMath at half. They didn't kick it to Quesada.
They might have got that one back.
I think you're right, Coach. No signal yet.
They went with a little pooch kick.
Fans will also want to see another score. I think they just did. Yeah, there's the signal. It's a touchdown.
And he's doing a good job.
Big
of
Robert
spreading
Ortega.
around.
That tackle. No one's going to tackle that. Touchdown for the Huskies.
Undefeated Hope Christian. I don't know when the last time we could say. I don't think they've ever started out 4-0, but they are, and they're looking really good. Can you believe we're already through 4 weeks of high school football? We're going to go over what our schedule looks like a little bit later in our show. You also can go to www.proviewNetworks.com for this week's schedule. We can't tell you our game of the week. It's at Cleveland High School, Artesia versus Cleveland. Going to be a lot of fun on My 50 TV. One more highlight to get to. This was Metro Volleyball Championship from Volcano Vista High School. La Cueva taking on Cibola.
Mariana Sharp will serve. Here's Martinez. Kept up, Mortensen. Back row, McIntosh to put it away, no. Free ball over. McIntosh on the outside for the win! APS Metro champs again! It's La Cueva. 25-21 the final. but Sydney McIntosh, 20 kills, a sophomore. You're on fire. You guys keep winning these traveling trophies, the APS Metro Champs again. Tell me about it.
We've been working really hard in practice, and tonight showed.
And you're undefeated to start the season. There's got to be high hopes. I know you just won the APS Metro Championship, but I think there's a bigger championship in mind. Tell me about that.
State, or no, three-peat. That's what we're hoping for. So just hard work pays off. So work hard in practice.
Well, congratulations. You're the
Thank
Phillies
you.
player of the game. Enjoy it. You had to fight a little adversity there in set number 4, but you guys took care of it down by, I think, 5 at least in that set and came back and win it.
Yeah, you know what? That's all season long. We've just been fighting, digging ourselves big holes, and then we fight back. We kind of got a team that just doesn't say die, and we won't roll over. So.
4 times in a row, La Cueva have now won the APS Metro Championship game, and Steven Archibek has himself a team that could win the Blue Trophy at the end of the year. I promise you that. We've got a special guest in studio. Not going to want to miss this, so come on back here on the Rundown.
Proview Network crew, assemble!
High school sports are back live on Proview Sports Network.
It's hard for a child to learn when they're hungry or being abused at home. Let's stop blaming teachers for problems they didn't create. I'm Steve Pierce. My mom loved teaching, but now Santa Fe asks teachers to be truant officers or social workers. Let our teachers teach, fix our broken test system, and put more money into classrooms. Good teachers don't give up on their kids. As governor, I will not give up on our teachers.
Back to action here on the Proview Rundown. Adam Deal now being joined by the man you just saw on the commercial, Steve Pierce, running for governor here in the state of New Mexico. First off, we appreciate you coming on set here at Proview Networks. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Anybody that deals with sports, I'm fine with.
Then it's all good, right? And I love that commercial, too. I mean, my wife's a teacher, right? Stop blaming teachers. I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Mom was a teacher, but I tell you, the most influential person in my life was a coach, my baseball coach. And keep in mind, I always wanted to play pro baseball. It was in college I finally figured out I didn't have the juice.
No.
I was a fairly good catcher, but I sat behind a real good catcher. He ended up kicking field goals for the Pittsburgh Steelers during the Terry Bradshaw. He's got 4 Super Bowl rings. He could have played pro ball, just kicked field goals instead. Roy Jarrell, just a fine human being.
He was actually just in the New Mexico Hall of Fame this last year.
Nah,
right?
I caught behind him, so you can see what I learned about. But it was Coach Shaw that first gave me my real kind of understanding. He puts his hand on my shoulder and says, Steve, you got deceptive speed. He said, you're slower than you look. And so he said, I'm going to put you back here as a catcher. And then he began to mold me. He said, don't you make my pitchers move. I want that ball to hit right here. Don't make them jump. Don't make them move their hands. And you do the thinking. I don't want my pitchers to have to. Said, you're the thinker. You sit back there. You don't have anything to do. And of course, he's just getting me into controlling the game. But Coach Shaw pulled me out of my shell and put me on the way to, not to pro baseball, but to success in life. And that's what our sports do. You know, you're not going to have many Alex Bregmans in life. And I love watching him play. He's got just...
Hasn't it been amazing, like a staple of what Albuquerque baseball is and what he's doing right now?
And his swing is perfect at the plate. He just got that short, compact swing, getting his hips rotated just the right time, pops the ball. I still play baseball today. I play on the congressional team, and I probably have the highest batting average, frankly. I get to bat once a year, because I'm too slow for the
So
outfield.
baseball's your go-to, is that?
Yes,
That's number
absolutely.
one for you?
That's
Did
number
you
one.
play other sports growing up, youth sports?
You're in basketball, and in Hobbs, you can't hit the rim. You might as well not come out. So I was
accurate.
Playing baseball was like being in an intramural sport in Hobbs, but I always played it in New Mexico State, and just still continue today. I go to the batting cages regularly, so just love the sport and never get it out of my system.
So youth sports, obviously very important. Very
Absolutely,
important to you.
my whole life. Yeah.
And going on right now, I mean, there's always been maybe trouble with funding sports here. How do you view it?
I just don't understand the funding problem. We've cut the funding to vocational education. We've cut the funding to sports. We cut the funding to everything, and our test scores never improve. If we'd start developing the full character of our kids, then we would have more success. So we would do everything necessary to reintroduce the funding into high school sports as well as our college sports. I just don't know what's going on out at UNM. When you start sawing off entire limbs.
I mean, it's been troublesome, this whole thing, right?
Like, you got one of the most successful soccer programs. You got kids who are staying here living productive lives. They don't have to be professional soccer players to have a success. Look at what's being downstream from the sports. And so you have all these indicators of success, and you choose to prune that off and just saw it off. You don't go in and pick little leaves off all the tree where you can kind of cut a little bit here and there and keep your programs. But I tell you, when you start pruning things, it means that financially your business management has been very deeply flawed for a long period of time. You should never get to the point in your personal budget to where you have to say, okay, we've got to give up the car in order to pay the rent. You should always say, okay, we're going to have to downscale our car just a little bit. I can see troubles down the horizon. Same thing in funding for policy, whether it's state government or our universities. I really felt like a lot different approach should have been had there. The regents could have been looking 3 years back there to see, hey, we've got pretty serious funding problems. Let's make these adjustments. They make an adjustment. It begins to work, level out the deficits. We could have done a lot better. As governor, I will make sure that we do that.
What do you think could have been done differently from the beginning?
Again, just start 5, 6, 7 years out. Yeah. You know when you're having deficits.
Like they should have probably foreseen this coming.
Yes, you will know that you're running short, and you should have either gone up a little bit on ticket price, go down on something over here, take one of the areas that is not being utilized, maybe in some other academic area. There are entire course structures that have very few people major in them, and yet we didn't cut any of those. Let's just take a look. As a business guy, I will just tell you, when you have to saw off the whole limb, then you have failed in your job as a manager.
Glad you could join us. We're on the Proview Rundown. By the way, we've got the top 10 poll coming your way after the break coming up next. But we're talking with Steve Pierce right now. Lucky enough to have him in studio, having some fun, chatting some sports. So we've been talking about youth sports. Locally here, it feels like such a tight community with sports. It feels like Albuquerque is ingrained with sports and in youth sports. It means a lot to people around here.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is even expand this Albuquerque effort across the state. When I say I go to the batting cages today, growing up in Hobbs, again, baseball was not the preeminent sport in Hobbs, and so I really never had the opportunity to get any coaching at all. I used to ask my dad. My dad was playing softball up well into my 10, 11-year-old age group, and he had a magnificent swing, and he could pop that ball over the center field fence, and I'd ask him, Dad, how come I'm not hitting with power? And he was such a natural, he couldn't figure it out. But if I'd had just a little bit of coaching, I think that I could have come around. I've got a better swing today at 70 than I had in my high school and college years.
Swing that around.
Absolutely. No, I was out with the UNM coach about 3 years ago. He grew up in my hometown, and he was giving me soft pitch, and he said, wow, those are good line drives you're hitting there. But if we were able to expand the Albuquerque experience across the state, then I think that we could find a lot more athletes that can compete on the college level. The ones that get to the pros are always going to be very rare. We had Cody Ross come through several years ago into the National Stadium. I went out and met him. I had my suit on, shaking hands. He was on the field. I was up here. I think that that's always going to be rare. We're going to appreciate when it happens, But in the meantime, we could still be developing good character, good work ethics, good discipline among people all across the state.
And I say Albuquerque, and I actually truly do mean the entire state, and I think it's different here in New Mexico.
No, you've got tremendous capabilities. You've got some facilities here that we don't have with the rest of the state, and I think that we could do that, but we need to figure it out financially. We need to have the funds to where kids on the Navajo reservation have the same opportunities as what we have here in Albuquerque. But the funding is going to be the key to that, and I'm always happy to work on that funding.
And you talk about like the Navajo reservation and what they do in the state basketball tournament, coming and traveling and packing the pit, and 13,000 people are watching state high school games. I mean, I think we're third in the nation in attendance for state high school basketball. I mean, that means something. Yeah, and it's an idea of a sport that has been developed pretty well all across the state. So I think that we could do that in all the other sports. Again, my favorite is baseball, but soccer is really powerful. I think that we could have tournaments across New Mexico, pitting just the summer league tournaments. Forget just the high school competition. Let's develop it beyond that. Sports are just such a good way for families to get their kids involved in things that are productive, keep them off the streets, get them thinking about team sports, get them thinking about leadership and what goes on there. There is just no reason that we shouldn't have the funding that we need to do them in all areas. We talked a lot of sports here, and before we get out of here in this segment, Steve, what's something that maybe somebody doesn't know about you that you want them to know about you? Oh, I just think that the desire to keep coming back. That came from Coach Shaw when, again, we had a team that was always struggling, and he would never let us give up. And so when I go into high schools now, I get the kids in there and I say, okay, what's it take to succeed? And they say, you got to be really good. No, that's not going to help. Got a lot of really good people don't succeed. Well, you got to be really pretty. And I said, are you kidding me? And I said, we got to have good grades. And I said, no, good grades don't do it. I said, if it wouldn't have been for me, there wouldn't have been a top half of the class. The thing that is going to stand, and when nothing else does, is grit. The willingness to get back up and fight no matter what happens, no matter how hard you get hit, you get back up and fight. I'm getting fired up right here. All right, my friend, appreciate you. I appreciate you. Where can people go to find more information about you? If they Pierce for New Mexico, go there. We got a web page, we got Facebook, we got Twitter, Instagram. So come look us up. We're going to be the next governor, and we're going to see that these programs get fully funded. Appreciate you stopping by. Steve Pierce, again, coming by the Proview studios. Hey, we got the top 10 poll. It's coming your way in just a moment.
It's time to make your plans to be at New Mexico's premier annual sports event. The 13th annual New Mexico Bowl is Saturday, December 15th, high noon at Dreamstyle Stadium. I'm Jeff Symbieta, Executive Director of the New Mexico Bowl. Be with us as once again college football's bowl season kicks off right here in Albuquerque. Bring your friends, bring your colleagues, host your holiday party at the New Mexico Bowl. It's annually one of the most exciting games of college football's postseason. Bottom line, it's a whole lot of fun. Visit NewMexicoBowl.com or call 925-5999, the New Mexico Bowl, where bowl season begins.
This is Coach Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets. Hello to all you parents out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to congratulate 38 years for the AYBL. You guys are doing a great job. You've shaped a lot of lives, young men and women, and you'll continue to do that. Parents, get involved, sign your kid up. It's a great program. It helped shape who I am today, helped shape me as a basketball player, as a coach. So get out there, sign them up. Have a great season. Good luck to everybody.
It's hard for a child to learn when they're hungry or being abused at home. Let's stop blaming teachers for problems they didn't create. I'm Steve Pierce. My mom loved teaching, but now Santa Fe asks teachers to be truant officers or social workers. Let our teachers teach, fix our broken test system, and put more money into classrooms. Good teachers don't give up on their kids. As governor, I will not give up on our teachers.
Appreciate again Steve Pierce coming on, talk a little sports, running for governor, and having a little bit of fun on this rundown on Monday. Adam Deal back at it with the crew in the zoo. Guys, how we doing?
No, Adam, we're doing well. We're doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Your Chargers won, your Broncos won, the Cowboys, in which I root for, won, so it's a good day for all of us.
Oh, yeah. I think we can all agree that anytime the Raiders lose, it's a it's a good day. You
Bang,
know?
bang.
And how about that? Steve Pierce, governor candidate on our show. That's some sweet stuff, Adam.
Hey, we're trying. I mean, we're getting big time here at Proview Networks, right? We can get guests like that. That's fantastic. Let's take a look at that top 10 poll. Brand new Proview Network top 10 poll. Josh Brown has a little bit more influence into this one that I do not like, Josh. You keep away from it. All right?
You know, Adam, when you drop the ball and do it last second, I got to step up and get in there. So
Cleveland smashes Mayfield. La Cueva, no problems with Cibola. El Dorado, hammer Trisco. Centennial blasts Sandia. So there's no change there. Volcano slipped by Monzano. By default, almost they're number 5 right now, right? Hobbs is playing really good. They're playing really good football right now. They're 3-1. We need to see more out of them, though. They do have their loss at home against Clovis. Carlsbad loses, guys. They lose 10-9 in an El Paso team. We've learned nothing about Carlsbad. I have no idea who they are. And they start district play. We will not know who Carlsbad is until they play Centennial, I think. Cibola, I mean, they slide back. They lost, but they lost to a really good team, La Cueva. There's Clovis at 9, and then Cruces, well, I mean, beat Rio Rancho back into the top 10. So what do you guys think?
Well, I'd have to say that the team that intrigues me in this top 10 is Volcano Vista. A lot of people like James Yotis and kind of yourself are kind of hype on them.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not. I'm not sold on Volcano Vista. I just don't think there is a big gap, I think, 1 through 3, and then I think Centennial's clearly alone at 4, and then I think there's just a monster. I don't know. Who's that next team? Who knows?
Yeah, I think that we need to wait until Volcano plays Cleveland or something like that to see where they're really at.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're definitely one of those teams who sometimes plays to the level of their competition.
Yeah.
And sometimes they let teams hang in that they shouldn't let hang in. But, yeah, I think other than that, I have to say Cibola respectfully went down, even though they were beating La Cueva 14-13. Just the end of that game was ugly. If they could have played 4 quarters of football, I think they could have stayed at that spot. But the way they lost in that second half was just bad.
Agreed. Josh, you saw Rio Rancho play. Las Cruces kind of took it to them.
they did, man. Finally getting it right, headed up north. I mean, that's, what, 3 weeks in a row they were up here? 2 weeks in a row, sorry. But
yes,
they got it right. That Wildcat they have, Molina finally running wild. I think they're getting it right. Rio Rancho, though.
Well, are they getting it right, or is Rio Rancho just not that good this year?
Touche. You know, I think they finally figured out they'll get it right. I think they're the clear favorite in that district. What is it, District 2, District 3?
You think Las Cruces is the favorite?
I think Cruces is going to take
over Centennial.
I do. I think they always play tough in district. I think Cruces got it right. That'll be a push-up. It'll be a tight game between them and Centennial. And here in a couple weeks, we'll see if I have to eat some crow and say sorry to the Centennial fans. But yeah, Rio Rancho, they need to figure some things out there. I mean, it's
season's not lost, but it almost feels like that way for Rio Rancho in week 4.
Especially in that district they're playing. As you're saying, Cleveland obviously the favorite in that district. We don't know what Volcano Vista is. Like Cleveland, like Alden said, Volcano playing Cleveland they play up to their talent. I think that Rio Rancho Volcano will kind of show us which team is that are there to play.
One more thing before we take off, Adam. What happened to Los Lunas this weekend?
They looked bad.
They did not bring any intensity
to
this game.
Flat.
They did not look like the #1 team that I saw when they played Sandia.
100% with you.
Hopefully they can get back on track, even though they're playing my Cougars this weekend.
Ooh.
That should be a good game that we're actually covering, right?
Yes,
on
we
Saturday.
Saturday.
So that should be a good test for both teams. Really excited to see what happens with that one.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bounce up. But yeah, I'm with you. Both teams have to get a bounce back win there. We'll see. That game will be on Proview Networks. You can check out our schedule. We'll have it up later today at www.proviewnetworks.com. Pretty boy Jason Pohl was not here today. He'll be here on Wednesday. The crew in the zoo. I'm Adam Deals saying so long.